with your palate cleansers. Show me what you got.
Welcome in, everybody, to a brand new episode of Audionots, your pop culture palate cleanser. I am Eric Oldboy, online with the infamous MC Ren. What's up, REN? What's going on?
What it do? We are back, baby.
We're back. We're back at it again. So, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Man, life's been so busy, dude, with the new house and everything. God damn. I got like no time to do anything. And
I see behind you got like stacks of shirts going on.
yeah, because the holiday season, people buy a lot of shirts. So I have to like prep and make shirts for my side gig.
Yeah, no, I love it. You gotta keep that side hustle going.
I know I got too many hobbies. I need to fund my hobbies with other hobbies.
Yeah, having those hobbies that pay for themselves and then other things is pretty great.
I know. Passive income is the best. Just saying.
That's right. Everybody should. I mean, honestly, in today's economy, everybody should have a side hustle. The gig economy is real, and you should have your real job and then your side hustle job. The key is to make your side hustle job kind of fun, and then you're not hating your life.
Yeah, because we're corporate designers.
That's right.
And it can only go so far with creativity. So you have that side hustle for your creativity to like go wild.
Yeah, that's right. I love it. Everybody should do it. And if you're not, get on it. What are you waiting for?
I know, and it's also October. So October this month, there's so much new animes coming out. You got to catch up on the episodes.
What's your top anime right now?
Well, the biggest one right now is this show called Bleach.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
After a super long hiatus, they finally got back, and so they just debuted like this past weekend.
Nice. Are you liking it? Have you been watching it all yet?
I haven't watched it yet because there's only one episode. I'm kind of waiting for it to like get more episodes out because it's a weekly release.
Nice. That's super cool. We were out to eat the other day, and speaking of anime, we went to this Asian grocery store that was by the place we were eating. And check this out. They had these. Let's see if I can get it in here on the camera for those watching on YouTube. See if I can get it in focus.
Oh, is that One Piece?
Yes, they have these One Piece sodas. And so this one is called yogurt flavor and sparkling water. So this one's got, there it is. Finally got it in focus. This one's got Luffy on it. Ocean Bomb.
Nice.
We got Ocean Bomb, and we got, I guess they're all called, maybe Ocean Bomb's the name of the soda. Then we got, I don't know this stuff well enough. My son has these. This one's got this green bro on it from, I'm assuming, the same anime.
Yeah, I don't watch One Piece. I have no idea who the characters are too.
Yeah, and this one's flavor is honey lemon. That sounds pretty good. And then the last one we got was with this orange lady on it. And this one is flavored mango. So we got mango, honey lemon, and yogurt. I don't even know what that means, but I thought it was kind of cool. So we bought them. We haven't cracked them open yet, though.
Yeah, because the ones I got were the Dragon Ball ones.
Oh,
I'm like sparkling water. I hate sparkling water,
Yeah.
And then my little nephew got one for me. He's like 6.
Yeah.
He knows I like Dragon Ball. So I'm like, oh, you're so cute. You got me one. And so I'm like, oh, I guess I'll drink it. But then they taste like sparkling ice.
Oh, like those ice waters? Those are good.
Yeah, so they're good. They're like just like soda. They're not like sparkling water.
Nice. Very cool. So we'll have to crack them open. We just thought it was super neat because we had never seen that before.
It'd be fun to do like a live tasting.
Yeah. They have box opening. We were talking about that offline today, but if anybody does box openings, or what do they call it? Unboxings anymore. Unboxings. Yeah, maybe we could do an uncanning, like, make it ASMR, listen to all the bubbles and the fizz.
Slurp really loud.
And belch after each big gulp. People would love it. People are weird. People are strange. Cool. Do you have anything else you want to cover before we start this show?
Oh, since we're on the One Piece
let's hear it.
Train, did you know they're coming out with a movie?
I kind of heard that, like a live action. Is it like a Netflix thing?
No, like that one's coming out too, but they're doing like an anime movie release in theaters. You gonna
Kid
go?
Danger will love it. Well, I won't go, but so Kid Danger is old enough. He's got his driver's license, and in fact, he just left to go do something. So he's out and about. But yeah, I'm sure he'll go. He'll go on his
Yeah.
own because he's into it. He said there's like 6 million episodes of the show he's watching anyways.
Yeah. Well, that at that age, any excuse to go out is to go out.
Yeah, as soon as he got his license, he's like, I need to go do this. I need to go do that. I'm like, bro, you never had to do any of this before.
Now that I can, I want to.
Now that he can, he wants to. I get it. I was that way
For now. Pretty
for
soon,
now.
I don't want to go out anymore.
Yeah, he'll hate it. After he starts paying his own gas, he'll hate it for sure. He won't want to go anywhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right, we're gonna start off with the healthy stream. So I've got some good ones. As usual, let's start with Disney Plus. My favorite show, still rocking and rolling on Disney Plus, is Andor.
Oh, I knew it.
Oh man, I was watching it. So we were watching it. My wife and I were watching it, and I'm like, man, I looked at her when it was all said and done with this most current episode. In fact, I think there's an episode on. No, it's tomorrow, not tonight.
I'm not
And I
caught
looked
up,
at
so just saying.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Okay.
And I just said to her, I go, wow, this show is super good. I go, I honestly think this is one of my favorite Star Wars shows since like the OG Mandalorian. And she goes, really? She goes, I think it's boring. So it's not for everybody. So she didn't like, I think that it feels less Star Warsy than other stuff. She also didn't like Rogue One. So I suppose if you go into this and you're not a Rogue One fan, you probably won't like Andor.
Right.
But personally, I'm really enjoying it. It feels more, I feel like it's the equivalent of Star Wars Game of Thrones. It's more about the different dynamics between the different people and the situations that they're in, and you learn a lot of stuff outside of your typical Star Wars lore that I'm really enjoying. I think the acting's super good. I think it's really nuanced. And I love the way it looks. All I do recently is complain about Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney special effects. And I haven't had a single gripe with the effects, mostly because it's very limited. There's hardly any special effects, but it doesn't feel like they're on a green screen.
Right. It's because I think they actually shot it like at a place and not like a dome.
Which is good because I don't know about everybody else, and I'll continue to bang this drum. It drives me nuts. It takes me out of everything. So every time they like film anything on this giant dome screen thing that they do, I hate it. I do not like it until they can figure out how to make it like fool my brain. I hate it.
I know.
So how far along are you?
I'm only up to where they came down and he got with the Skarsgård guy
Mm-hmm.
and they ran away. And that's it.
Okay, so you're a couple
episode
episodes behind. Yeah, I think you're two or three episodes behind.
Hey,
so
you know the flashbacks to when they were kids. I thought that was a little girl for most of the time until it was like, oh shoot, that's Andor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never got that. That's hilarious.
Because like the person didn't speak at all, so I thought that Andor was the other dude, and this was like his sister or something like that. And like later, I'm like, oh shoot, that's a boy.
I didn't get that.
Holy crap, man.
I was aware. That's funny. Yeah, no, I like it. Everybody should be watching Andor, especially if you liked Rogue One. It's a good show. So far, so good. What I've seen so far is it's high on my list.
Yeah, it's a small act that affects a bigger picture. So your wife doesn't really understand it.
She's bored. She plays on her phone watching TikTok the whole thing, so she doesn't pay any attention to it, which is fair. She doesn't have to like everything I like, but it was just kind of funny to me because she, as much as she hates Andor, she loves Game of Thrones. The new House of Dragons show, I like it. Don't get me wrong, it's a great show, but she loves it. Like she's constantly, when's it on? Is there a new episode yet?
Yeah, and so me and her, same boat, baby.
Really? So every episode, I pretend like it's the last episode. So it's my new favorite game. Right before it starts, to go, oh, just so you know, this is the last episode of the season, and she gets all upset. And then when it ends, and I fast forward past the credits so we can watch what's going to happen next, she gets all mad and goes, "There's more."
It's funny because like we were watching Rings of Power. And I'm like, this show is so dumb. Why do you watch this? And then my wife's like, you know what show's dumb? Andor's dumb. You know what show is dumb? She-Hulk's dumb. It's like, oh,
Well, she's not wrong. She-Hulk is dumb.
yeah,
So I'm on this perfect segue. Perfect segue. She-Hulk, I've been sticking around mostly because we were all teased with some Daredevil action, right? We're like, oh, Daredevil, Daredevil. When's Daredevil gonna show up? So Daredevil finally showed up and he was great. I love Daredevil still, even when he's the lighter side inside the She-Hulk. I'm okay with him being that version of Daredevil on this show because that's the tone that they have.
yeah,
And it's also good to know that man, Daredevil fucks. He gets around.
yeah.
He does for a blind guy, he does not miss. I tell you what,
Walk
you
of
know, he
shame, baby.
the walk of shame was pretty funny. Daredevil scoring with She-Hulk, scoring with Elektra. You put him in front of him, he's scoring. He's the man.
Yeah, for me, She-Hulk's kind of like a Boba Fett, right? The best part about Boba Fett is the Mandalorian,
Yeah,
and the
that's right.
best part about She-Hulk is Daredevil.
Yeah, and it's only those single episode that he shows up. I did kind of like Frogman or whatever that guy's called. Super
Leapfrog.
Frog. Yeah, Leapfrog. I kind of thought that was funny. I wish they would have maybe given us more of like this bro just trying to be a superhero. I thought that was amusing. It felt very close to something you might see on The Boys, and they kind of burned through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think one of my issues with that show is like they're trying to do this overarching storyline, but
Yeah.
there is no overarching storyline. Like, who is the villain? Like, are they going to show it to us at the season finale or what?
Yeah, you know what I think? I think that Abomination is the villain, and that he's going to turn from we were being hoodwinked the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's going to do something bad. So that's been kind of my guess that his whole like I'm a good guy, and all I want to do is heal other people's is a red herring, and he's building himself a gang of bad dudes.
So is she gonna break the wall and be like, "I've been hoodwinked," and then
I hope so. That'd be amazing. You know, I like the actress. There's parts of the show I do like, so it's not a complete fail, and I'll keep tuning in, but it's not my favorite at all.
yeah, for me it's really mid. It's mid.
Super, super mid.
Yeah.
It's the most mid Marvel show ever. I'm trying to think if there's one that I thought was more like inconsistent. It's definitely inconsistent.
I like Miss Marvel more than She-Hulk.
I did too. Ms. Marvel at least had some really unique ideas. It still had just garbage special effects, but like I said, you had to get over that, I guess. But yeah, just She-Hulk alone on screen looks weird, takes me out of it constantly. Just bleh.
You know when like she did the Hulk smash?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that like kill Daredevil like in the boys when Homelander's like pop in
Yeah,
season
well,
one? Like,
maybe I don't know. Maybe it's such a force that it's not enough. I don't know. It's Marvel. They're not gonna blow them up. Different universes. They're not gonna kill people like that. The other great thing. So let's say Andor was a win. She-Hulk is super mid, maybe even an L. But you know what? They brought, and this might be quite honestly the way Disney and Marvel should release stuff that's not full-fledged movies is the special versus the TV show. So they released for Halloween Werewolf by Night.
yeah.
And I was not really excited about this. I was kind of like, it looks kind of hokey. I'm sure it's going to be some just more cheesy Disney garbage, whatever. I'm not super into it. And then I watched it and I'm like, I like that. It was super good. What did you think about it?
Same, dude. I'm like the same exactly what you just said. I'm like, I like it a lot.
It was good. I thought the story was quick and to the point, maybe almost a little too fast, but I get because they're trying to do kind of a just shy of an hour kind of Halloween special. It
Yeah.
wasn't too hokey for little kids. So it didn't feel like you're just watching a little kid show. There was enough blood and gore to make it feel Halloween-ish.
Right.
I thought Man Thing looked awesome. I loved Man Thing. Werewolf looked kind of dorky, but boy, Man Thing looked dope as heck.
Yeah,
And I really go ahead.
Werewolf was like, hey, that's Beast.
I think he's like, "What's up, Ted?" Like, well, lesson learned. I never knew that Man Thing's name was Ted. So I've seen Man Thing. I've never in my life read a Man Thing comic.
Yeah, you know how like they're trying to make the Dark Universe.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, just make the Dark Universe inside Marvel. There's everybody, you know.
yeah,
You
they've
got
got them all.
you got Dracula, yeah, everybody, man.
I feel like that's kind of where they're going, because we've heard a lot of rumors about Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
We know that Blade with Marshala Ali is coming. I think they're talking about rebooting Ghost Rider. So we're starting to get like, I think they're building towards that. And even the opening to Werewolf by Night was cool. How it's like switched to like black and white and was a little creepier. I'm digging it. I like the vibe that they had going. The acting was
Yeah.
great.
Well, breaking news: they cast Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider.
No, are you?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
You heard it here first.
Oh my god! I was about to be amazed. I'm like, shit, that just happened. Yeah, I had no idea. Oh man, fake news people. They like, what if their podcast freezed right then, or they're getting out of the car and that's the last thing they heard.
Keanu.
They're gonna go tell somebody, and someone's gonna make them feel like an idiot.
Just you wait, man. Just you wait.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, I liked it. I liked the Werewolf by Night. If you had skipped it like I was almost about to, don't go back. Give it a whirl. It's short. It's quick. It'll be a perfect Halloween Eves type show to watch.
But yeah, just know that it's taking like a old school vibe to it, black and white.
Yep.
But it's actually taking place in present day. So it present day Marvel universe.
Yeah, present day Marvel universe, and it's kind of neat. Like, one of the things that really jumped out to me is at the very end when they fade to color just before the show's over, they give you this kind of uh like Wizard of Oz music and everything, and you're like, okay, that's clever, because for those youngins out there listening, Wizard of Oz was the first film in color, and they didn't discover the technology until halfway through production, and so they actually worked it into the plot. The original movie was supposed to be filmed in black and white. And when they discovered it, they made it so when she was switching from being, oh, I'm in Kansas, to the Wizard of Oz world, it changed to color. And that was the first time anybody had really seen a color movie before.
Damn, dropping some knowledge here.
Yeah, dropping some knowledge. Some other news from our friends at Disney. I can't remember. Did we talk about Hocus Pocus 2 last episode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think
so
you only tweeted it out, and that's good enough.
I'll be super quick. It sucks. I hated it. Did you see it?
It's terrible, man.
Okay.
Part 1 way better.
So at least you liked part 1. I've never liked any of them. So to be fair, if you're into the OG Hocus Pocus, you're gonna love Hocus Pocus 2. But I was bored. I didn't like it. My wife was a big Hocus Pocus fan, and she thought Hocus Pocus 2 was super average, wasn't her thing. So to me, it was a swing and a miss. They all looked. What was funny though is Bette Midler, the main old ass witch. Yeah. She hasn't aged at all. She looked exactly the same. Whereas poor what's her face from Sex and the City was so much older. They had to like super do makeup around her eyes to hide her wrinkles.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, Sarah Horseface Parker. She looked real bad.
And the other lady used to be the chubby one. Now she's like old
Kathy Najimy or something. Yeah, she was the chubby girl, and she's like the funnier one. Yeah, she lost all the weight, which is great. Good on her. But that also made her look significantly older too. Because she is older, and weight loss on older people when they've been bigger makes you look all like me. You get all wrinkly. So see how when you smile real big, because you never been a fat guy. You smile real big, no wrinkles. I used to be a fat guy, smile real big. All these wrinkles on my face, because you know why? Fat guys have extra skin.
Well, I'm getting there, man. I'm gonna be a fat guy pretty soon.
Give it time. I love it. So a couple other pieces of Marvel news. Deadpool teased us. Ryan Reynolds himself teased us with Wolverine. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Damn. I love Ryan Reynolds, man. Just putting it out there.
I love Ryan Reynolds. In fact, we're gonna revisit Ryan Reynolds in a segment down the way here. But Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman finally, I guess you shouldn't say finally, because technically we got them before. We got
2 times.
Yeah. We got dopey dumbass Wolverine and dopey dumbass Deadpool before. I hope they make fun of it the way he made fun of that stuff before. There's no way they can't.
Yeah, I mean, he time travels now, so why not?
Yeah, so I am so looking forward to Deadpool 3. I'm hoping that this isn't just like a quick cameo, like he shows up for half a second when Deadpool kills him and then we move on or something. That would be super disappointing.
I mean, Yeah, we got that in Deadpool too. So I don't want, I'm like, come on, give us more.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. So
And and I think Disney's building up their way to rated R because in Andor and She-Hulk, they totally had sex.
yes, like I said, Daredevil fucks. Yeah, Disney, everybody was so afraid that Disney would really kind of condense down the R-rated violence and sex and all those things. And don't get me wrong, they absolutely have Disney-fied some stuff because that's their
Yeah,
core audience.
yeah.
You'd be a fool to think that's not their core audience, but they're not afraid to still give adults adult movies. So I think we'll still get Deadpool at its best.
They're still hoping.
Here's to hoping. And then the last piece of Marvel news is in the Sony verse of Marvel. They're doing everything they can to make sure that they have their own thing. By the way, I finally watched that vampire one. What's it called?
Oh,
Morbius.
Morbius?
Yeah, I had my own Morbin time finally. And it was good. You're right. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's what I said too. That's my hot take. Like, it wasn't that bad. I don't know why people were trashing on it, man.
Yeah, I think that maybe it just became popular to make fun of it. So
Yeah.
it's not a great movie, but it was better than Thor. So everybody relax with Morbius. But they announced that they're in fact going that they've greenlit an El Muerto movie, which is kind of this another anti-hero type bro that wears like a luchador mask, and it looks pretty cool. I'm excited for that.
Man, they're just like jumping on the Bad Bunny train.
That's right. They cast Bad Bunny. And
Because
I'm really curious. Have we seen Bad Bunny act in anything? Do we know if he can act?
he's in Bullet Train.
Oh,
I
I
haven't
haven't
seen that
seen that
movie.
yet.
And
I
then
want
he's
to see it.
in this other thing that I forgot.
Okay. Well, I want to see Bullet Train. So as soon as that's available to stream for without me paying an extra $20, I will stream it for sure.
I mean, we have a colleague that's in his demographic,
Yeah.
and she told us that Bad Bunny has huge audience. So Disney was like, we want that too.
Yeah, they're no idiots.
Yeah.
They know what's up. They're not gonna miss out on getting them. All right. I had a so for those watching the YouTube, I just coughed, but that time at least I muted myself. I told Ren beforehand that I'm a little nervous because Kid Danger has decided to catch him the kissing disease, mononucleosis, and it's not super contagious with adults. But I am using the same microphone that he's been slobbering on for who knows how long when he's been homesick. So here's hoping that's not the beginning of whatever that is.
You didn't like do a little spray.
I did. I have I think I showed you that last time he was sick because the kid's always sick. That I do have a special spray just for microphones that's supposed to sanitize it. So in theory, fingers crossed, everything's gonna be good. Over on Netflix, Netflix has had a lot going on too. I watched a show I don't think Ren has watched yet, but I enjoyed it. It's a 3-episode documentary series called Eat the Rich, and it's the story of Wall Street bets and GameStop and Robinhood and how all that collided together for probably a once in all a youngin's lifetimes. Did you watch that yet?
Negative.
So if you were following this story or are interested in all at kind of what went on when the GameStop stock skyrocketed because a bunch of bros on Reddit decided to take down the big stock market traders. It's super interesting. So I highly recommend it. It is definitely a very light and easy watch. It's not your typical draggy documentary. It's clearly made for a younger demographic that they figure or probably would have been yelling to the moon and all this other crap. So if it's your thing, I would recommend it. It's definitely entertaining and eye-opening to see and learn more about really what happened and the fact that they were kind of in the end. I don't want to spoil it for you, but they're kind of able to drill down to one person that made this all happen, which was kind of amazing and something I didn't know.
Did it feel different watching a documentary knowing that you were part of it?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I definitely was part of it, investing in some of that stuff and jumped into Robinhood and was doing all that. I'm actually still to this day part of Wall Street Bets Reddit forum. And so, no, I don't think so, but it was kind of, it does make it a little bit unique when they expose some of the user handles that you see all the time on that particular forum, who they
Yeah.
are, what they're up to, their reasoning, the real reasons why these guys were doing it, that kind of thing, and how they were able to create probably a perfect moment that will be super hard to replicate because, you know, these big money managers aren't going to let this happen to them twice.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, it's not so easy. Well, the man has all the power and the money, so they're like, no, I don't think so. Um, Also, I watched, and I know you did watch this one on Netflix, Mr. Harrigan's Phone. So, I had told everybody at our work, oh yeah, this new Stephen King short story has been turned into a Netflix flick. The trailer looks great. I mean, it looks almost like Death Note, but with an iPhone. I was all excited about it, and they got me excited, which turned me into like a promoter of it. And then we watched it, and it's boring. It's a little bit boring. What do you think?
Yeah, it had a good start, but then it kind of just went stagnant.
It fizzles out really quick. You know,
Yeah.
it just like Ren's saying, it starts off strong. You know, there's a lot of things good going for it. In fact, I've read a lot of Stephen King books, and it felt very much like you were reading the words of Stephen King. So I give them credit for being very true to the story and the storytelling. However, it probably works better as a short story than it did as a small film because the acting's good, it looks pretty good, and it gets going. But then you're just by the time maybe it's just the story itself is problematic. It doesn't have a fulfilling ending.
My biggest issue with the movie was like they like hinted this like teacher student like love interest thing. I'm like, what the hell's
Oh,
happening here? Did you get that?
that yeah, that was a little weird. They did give us that a little bit. And I think they were trying to build up a reason for him to get pissed off and use his super murdering iPhone, you know, because he didn't really have any necessity after the first one to do it again. And that's kind of how they made it.
I
He
mean, that was the issue. They needed more killing.
Well, yeah, because they Netflix promoted this as a Stephen King Halloween type movie. You're gonna like it.
Yeah.
It's a scary movie, and it's not scary at all. And it just like it doesn't go anywhere. You sit there for an hour and 40 minutes, and you're like, wait, it's over? That was it?
Yeah. Man, but
Uh,
that movie Sutherland looked so old, man.
Yeah, I thought, though, for an old guy, you gotta hate being those old actors because you get designated to play like the dying human being and everything, and knowing you're gonna be a dying human being pretty soon, anyways. I thought he did pretty good job. Like his acting skills and chops are still there. And if anything, he actually looks more like his son now than ever. Like I really could see Kiefer inside of his face. I'm like, oh yeah, that now we know what
Yes.
Kiefer's gonna look like when he's super old. So I like I said, the acting was good. It was just the plot wasn't what I would have hoped.
Yeah, agreed.
Um, Also on Netflix, they've got I saw a trailer came out for a new show that I am interested in called Blockbuster, which is kind of amusing that Netflix is making a TV show based off the company they helped destroy. I mean, talk about rubbing dirt in the wound. Blockbuster it looks like a comedy with a little bit of drama on it, but mostly a comedy, a streaming type comedy. And it stars Randall Park as basically the owner of the very last Blockbuster and kind of his day to day of what he's doing to try to keep it alive, keep it running longer than it should when the rest of them are going out of business. It looks like he's having a little bit of a midlife crisis along the way, but it looks pretty entertaining to me. What do you think?
Yeah, is it based on the one that's in Oregon?
Yes, it is. That's another
Yeah.
thing for, us. Audionots is based in Oregon. The last Blockbuster remaining is in Oregon. In fact, that's still open and they turned it into this like weird thing you can rent and like have sleepovers in or something.
I
So weird.
mean, the show guy, my dude Randall Park, love that guy. And then I don't know her real name, Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine lady is looking quite fine too.
Yeah, so it has really a good cast, and it looks pretty funny.
Yeah, I am totally in. And Randall Park's looking cool. He finally they're letting him actually look cool versus they always make him like the dorky dad or the dorky sidekick. And he's got like some cool facial hair going on, so he's looking cool as the boss. So Blockbuster, the television show, comes out on Netflix November 3rd. So we're not too far away from that. Over on Hulu, I found a sitcom that I want to tell everybody about that none of you know about. That's super funny. It's brand new.
No way.
Yes, way brought to you from the makers of Modern Family. So it has that aesthetic and all those types of things. It's called Reboot. So let me ask you, Rain, have you even ever heard of Reboot?
Yes, it was this little animation back in the 90s that was about like computer viruses, and they had to like go and reboot the system.
Okay, so this is completely different than
No?
that. Not that.
What?
They haven't rebooted the OG reboot. This is a sitcom based on, like I said, from the people that wrote Modern Family. It's got is it Key from Key and Peele is in it. So is it was Keegan is his real name?
Keegan? Yeah.
Keegan. Yeah, so it's got him in it. It's got Johnny Knoxville from Jackass is in it. It's got God, I cannot remember her name, but this really famous actress that's been like the side character or the wife in like every sitcom ever.
Oh,
So you'll
like in
reckon
Jurassic World and stuff?
stuff like that. Yeah. So you'll definitely recognize her. And the basic premise of it's got Paul Reiser in it too. So you will last remember Paul Reiser for maybe like Stranger Things for you young kids out there. But the basic premise is there's this young writer that goes to Hulu and says, "Hey, I want to make a TV show." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, you do lots of really dynamic, edgy stuff. What are you going to bring to us?" And she goes, "I want to reboot this 1990s sitcom that's kind of like, all like, I don't know, Full House, those kind of shows." And they're like, "Oh, you want to remake that?" And she goes, "Yeah, but I want to do it with today's tone. I want to bring back the original cast and I want to reboot it with all the original people and make it more edgy and real." So like, okay, we can do that. So they hired it to put the sitcom together, and along the way, they ended up bringing back the original showrunner who had made it really hokey. And it turns out the original showrunner, who was played by Paul Reiser, is also her dad. So then part of the dynamic is them arguing about the style show that they're trying to make, the actors being a bunch of prima donna actors. There's a lot of funny things to it. If you liked Modern Family and that kind of tone, you're gonna like this show.
I looked it up. It's a Judy.
Greeland, right?
Yeah. Greer?
Yeah, Greer.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was so close. Judy Greer. That's right. And by the way, if you're a fan of Judy Greer, topless in the first episode. So there you go.
I'm sold.
That's how you get Rin to watch a show.
Is it
So,
fake though? Like you know how like the one like This Is 40 or whatever? It was like a fake computerized.
right, or that recent Pam and Tommy, they did the same thing where it was fake. No, it looks 100% real. I would say it's real.
Oh yeah, because your eyes can tell, huh?
Yeah, I'm a professional booby seeker. I know. Um, but yes, I would. So far, I've seen 4, 5, 6 episodes. I don't honestly remember. I'd give it a solid 7.5.
It's
you
pretty good.
know it could probably work its way even higher. I've enjoyed it so far. I like the dynamics between the cast, and surprisingly, out of that great cast, the one guy that's kind of standing out is Johnny Knoxville of all people. He's actually can
Really?
act. Yeah, they play to his strong suit and kind of play him is almost Johnny Knoxville,
Yeah.
so that
Just be you.
yeah, it's easier for him, but it works. I enjoy it, and he's able to. There's a couple really funny. There's one funny plot line where the kid that was little in the original show is now an older young adult in it, but his mom still comes on set with him. And she's like, she's the lady from Reno 911, totally annoying and all this stuff. And Johnny Knoxville ends up sleeping with her. It's pretty funny. So I highly recommend Reboot. Also on Hulu, our friends at Solar Opposites released a Halloween special. So this is a special episode just for Halloween. It's amusing. I enjoyed it. Just want to make sure everybody knew it was there in case you thought your season of Solar Opposites was completely over until next year.
Oh man, I'm not even caught up. I'm like 4 episodes in only.
Only 4 episodes in. Okay, that's all I had on. Yeah, that's all I had on Hulu. Over on Prime, Ren wants to rant about his favorite TV show, The Rings of Power. To be fair, I've only managed to get through half an episode, so I'll let you share your thoughts on it.
Well, I'm watching it for the sake of my wife because she's a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Okay.
And man, that show is so trash, man. I it's so boring. It's I think I understand that Amazon didn't get all the rights to Tolkien stuff,
Right.
but yet why can't you take what you have and make a good show out of it? For example, this show has too many storylines going on, right? You got like the elves, the other elves, the dwarf and the elf, and the little hobbits, and they're telling their story, but yeah, it goes nowhere. Like you don't really care. There's no like character development. because you want to bond with the characters. You want to go on an adventure with them, right? But nothing really happens. You just don't care about these characters,
So
and
they don't
like,
actually do anything.
well, they progress in the show, but it's kind of like you're just like, it's mid.
You just don't care about them. You think it's too true to the book, and they needed to spice it up for today's viewers?
Well, if it was me, if I have that much money, they develop the world like beautifully, right? It looks amazing.
Right.
But then just kind of like pick its story and like develop those characters and move them along, rather than trying to like give all these different storylines to us all at once, and then we're just like, what's this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, and then nothing develops out of it, and just like it's because we you're using a world that we know and love, and yet you're giving this to us, thinking that we're gonna just like them and go along the story, but it's just it didn't work for me.
It looks beautiful though. Does it still look beautiful? At least some of the episode that I saw looked amazing.
Yeah, I mean they spent a lot of money making it look good, and that's all they did.
Yeah, maybe they'd spent more time making it more entertaining and not so. Is it pretty slow paced?
Yeah, it's just so boring, man. Like if it was me, I would just tell this other story, but I don't want to spoil it for you.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Fair
yeah.
enough. So as much as you've seen, what's your rating currently?
Oh, I give it like a solid 2 nuts, man.
Oh no, that's not good. Well, there you go, people. He just saved you probably 10 hours of your life.
Yeah, it's cool that they kind of tie in to the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like, dude, they just need a better storytelling.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Um it, your hate of the show makes me almost not want to even try watching it.
You should.
I should try watching it,
Yeah.
finishing it. All right.
I mean, at least give it at least 3.
Okay, because I never even finished the first episode just because they're so long. Um, Over on HBO Max, though, there's a very similar show that I don't have any issues watching or concerns about its length. It's the House of Dragon. We talked about earlier how my wife is obsessed with this show. Um, and to me, I still like it. I kind of think I like the OG Game of Thrones better, in my humble opinion, at least until the last season or two. It was one of my all-time favorite shows. It had just the perfect amount of violence and like drama and all these different things. Whereas this one, while they give us a dragon every once in a while, feels more like a medieval soap opera, which is why I think my wife likes it so much. And so for me, I would say it's a 6.5, where she would give it a 10 out of 10 guaranteed. What are your thoughts of it so far?
I think I'm on the same boat as your wife, man. I love this show. The only gripe with this is they need more action, man. Like it's a
That's
lot of
right.
family drama, and then the whole dynamics of like who's gonna be, get the next king or queen, whatever. But there's not enough action. This is
That's my feeling. And I don't think I need a show that's nothing but action. I haven't been fully Marvelized, but I need a little bit more. Like there hasn't been a ton of like fighting or stuff happening. It's mostly like you said, it's them it's more like the TV show Succession, it's them just all kind of vying for that king position. And so it's kind of like
my favorite episode in Game of Thrones, like Battle of the Bastards, where
oh yeah.
Jon Snow is like, "Ooh, I'm gonna solo this.
Yeah.
And they had that scene with Damon too, where he's like, okay, I'm gonna solo this too, and goes in, fights everybody, and gets fights the main boss, and yet you didn't even get to see him kill the bad guy. Like,
The
dude, where's
the
that
crab
fight
bro.
scene? Yeah, the crap
Yeah.
guy. Like, where's that fight scene? Like, I want to see that. Like, what the hell, dude?
The show is still good, but it feels like they've purposely said, you know what, it's not going to be as violent. It's not going to be as sexy. It's not going to have as much nudity. And so they've kind of stepped away from a lot of that. So, yeah, like you said, you have like what could have been a really cool fight scene off screen.
Yeah, I think maybe there's too much incest in this storyline. They're like, we're not gonna do the sex stuff, but at least give us the battles.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
think
And go ahead.
I think the whole issue, I mean, the whole thing about this whole show is like the acting with each other, the emotional side, and all that stuff. So it's very good on that aspect. But uh, I need some sword fighting, man.
Yeah, you're right. The acting's super good. The story is actually really good. It just, yeah, it's a little drawn out for me. I keep waiting for something to really, really happen, and it's just them backstabbing rather than stabbing.
It's funny how like the whole issue started with like a misunderstanding. Like what this whole time?
Well, the I actually had to look up after the very last episode without giving too many spoilers, where the king said something on his deathbed. I had to look up so I could understand what was really going on because it wasn't clear to me completely. So it took the internet to help me out.
Oh, because you don't watch it with subtitles like me.
I don't I don't watch it with subtitles, so I had to like, what the hell? And so I had to look it up and like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The best part is the wifey was sitting next to me and she didn't get it either. And she kept asking me what was, what is it? What is going on? I don't understand. And I said, if you don't get it, you just don't get it. And only because I didn't get it.
She got probably got mad at you.
Yeah, I didn't want her to know that I didn't understand either.
I mean, like, even though I wanted more action, I still look forward to watching the next episode, and I can't wait for the next weekend's episode.
Yeah, I still like it too. So don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm not trying to hate on it completely. I just enjoyed OG Game of Thrones better.
Yeah, I feel like they have a big shoe to fill because Game of Thrones is such a big name, and maybe they were scared about not getting a second season, and they had to like time jump and rush things.
Oh yeah, there's every other episode they jump like 10 years. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, I kind of wish they took their time, like just let little Rhaenyra play at least season one.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and then time jumper in the second season
Yeah,
instead of like a few episodes in.
yeah, I think they were just afraid that it might not live up to expectation and get canceled after season one.
Yeah, maybe. There was one violent scene that was reminiscent of old Game of Thrones where the one guy decided to roll up on the king, start talking shit, and
Oh yeah,
his brother said,
do it, do it.
hold your tongue."
Well, by far, Damon's the best character in the show
By far.
for me.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see him face off with the one-eyed blonde-haired brother. That's gonna be good stuff.
And he's like, what's his name again? Jamin or
I don't know. They all have crazy names. And I saw someone tweet that no one could ever spoil Game of Thrones for me on Twitter because I can't remember who anybody's name is.
I bet you
like
after
I
Damon
thought like
fights.
3 different characters were named Damon. It's been so hard.
Yeah, it's like his Damon, but other one's like something that sounds like Damon. He'll be like, oh, after he beats him, guess what? I am your father. We have the same hair.
Same hair. The guy with the eye patch, though, man, that actor that they cast is so fugly. He is an ugly dude.
It's funny because like all the other ones kind of grew up just a little bit, but this
Yeah.
guy like became like a freaking man. Like what happened?
Yeah, the one kid became like 19 and he became like 38.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened?
And then Luke and Jace was like, oh look, there's the Jonas brothers.
Oh my god. All right. You people should watch House of Dragons. Decide for yourself. My only other piece of TV tidbits before we wrap up the healthy stream is they finally did it. For the longest time, they petitioned and they fought for it, and the fans wanted it. The fans demanded it, and they finally did it. We're getting Community, the movie.
Really?
7 seasons in a movie. They did it. So we'll see which actors actually show up for this thing, but I'm ready for it.
I'm just like, man, hopefully they could like do what they can now, like do what they did, but now it's like I don't know, man. This is super edgy.
Yeah, I know, right? They would have to really push the boundaries as best that they can. Maybe make fun of the fact that boundaries can't be pushed anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. I don't think Chevy Chase is coming back, and it probably feels unlikely that Donald Glover comes back, but maybe he can at least get a cameo because we got to have Troy and Abed in the morning. I mean,
Come on, man. That's my favorite, dude.
So good. So good. I miss it when the Childish Gambino used to actually do funny things. It's like he's so damn serious now. It's like, bro, calm down.
You're not too busy, man. Just come in for this movie.
Yeah, you're not. Just relax. All right, so let's wrap this bad boy up. Let's start our next segment. Shower thoughts. Shower thoughts. So I was in the shower the other day and I was thinking, it'd be kind of an interesting or fun film or TV show if they made like a bunch of people got superpowers, but they're all like really dopey superpowers, like I can bend metal, but only forks, that kind of thing. So it's just like really stupid stuff. And then my brain kind of evolved and I thought, what about if we had superpowers? What would those superpowers look like? And they don't have to be so super. They can be like, I'm just a little bit better. So in reality, they're just like I'm good at. So what good things are you good enough at that it teeters on the edge of a superpower? I wrote down a couple, so I'm not sure. I told you about it earlier today, so I know you've been thinking about it a little bit. If you want me to go first, I can, or if you want to share your superpower with us, let's hear it.
I'll go first.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, back in college, right? I went to college.
That's good.
Yeah. One of my art professor, he's always like, "Devil's in the details, devil's in the details,
devil's in the details."
That's like the only thing that stuck with me throughout college.
So you've learned one phrase.
Yeah, that's it. And so till this day, I like just devil's in details. So I nitpick at everything, and then
I can confirm.
Yeah, so I like look at smallest things. I nitpick. That's it. So they call me like the nitpicker. Yes.
I am the nitpicker. I love it. So that's a pretty good superpower, though.
Try and make your life better.
Yeah, improving by irritating.
Yeah.
I like it. That's a good superpower. I mean, the devil really is in the details, and like I have that a little bit, but not as near as much as you. Like we've talked to everybody. We work together, and man, he'll notice 10 things that I didn't even see, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Maybe like if I'm showing the audience, a little devil will come and like point at the mistake or in the issue.
That'd be the superpower. Like,
there it is, Ren.
Probably like literally like just appear out of the paper that there's a mistake and like you could have made this better.
That's it. That's mine.
I was thinking about it. So what would my superpowers be? And so I came up with two. One of them's really stupid. Actually, they're both really stupid. But I think I have one that's maybe close to your devils in the details where it's actually proactive and helpful. Then I have another one that I find myself bragging about. And then afterwards, I think, God, that's a weird flex. So I'm gonna start with that one. I fish. I fish a lot. I also enjoy amusement parks and long car rides and helicopters and planes and all these things that sometimes a lot of people get motion sick from. They get seasick. They get motion sick. And I've never once gotten motion and or seasick. So my superpower is I am seasickless, man. I don't get seasick. I am unafraid of big waves. I can spin around as fast as you can go on the teacups. Nothing affects seasickless, man.
You can't really say seasick because you're including like motion.
Seasickless motion, man. So yeah, I can spin. You can put me in this little chair right here and I can spin around and it doesn't do anything to me. I think maybe because my brain's really chill and stupid that it doesn't bother me. So I don't get motion sick at all. And I have an entire family that if they look the wrong direction too fast, they fall over and start throwing up. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been fishing with my family and someone's chumming over the side, just puking up buckets. Rides I can't ride this ride, I can't ride that ride. I'm like, oh, I just want to ride the teacups, I just want to spin around. I want to be on the gravitron, guys, come on. Nobody wants to do it.
Maybe you were in the gravitron one too many times.
I scrambled my brains for sure. So maybe that's it. Like I'm perpetual motion, man. And why you don't see it, just inside my head, my brain's just doing twirls. It's just spinning. So everything seems straight along no matter what.
So when you're actually spinning, you're even out and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. So I have found myself many a time, like I said, bragging about I don't get seasick like I'm something special. So that's my first one. My second one is more like yours that I actually think is indicative skill that I have, and it's I have the ability, and I've proven it out, to spot new musicians, bands, solo artists, whatever, before they become super popular. I listen to an S ton of music. So Spotify's my life, no matter what I'm doing. I'm always listening to music, and as old as I am, and I'm an old fart, I hate listening to the same stuff over and over again. So I'll get hooked on something and listen to it for about a month, and I'm on to the next thing. So I'm always trying to find new things, stuff no one else knows. And I found a lot of bands and musicians before they blew up.
I'm sure if you listen back to the old podcast on your hot tater,
Yeah,
there'll be like a bunch, like, I'm pretty sure you told us about 21 Pilots
that's right.
before 21 Pilots became a thing.
Yeah, before they were really big. That's one of the big ones I'm proud of. And I have a lot more. And so I'm always excited to tell people when I find new music. I almost feel like I missed a career calling. Like I could have had a job as some sort of like record label guy that picks people up, because I feel like I have an ear for what people would like. And still to this day, I'll hear stuff and I'm like, I don't know why this isn't more famous. And sometimes they hit and sometimes they don't. There's been many a time like Tommy Newport and Travis Thompson that I thought these guys should be on all the radio stations, and they're just not yet. So I still think they'll have their day in the sun, but we'll see.
Travis Thompson, come to our show, make you famous.
Yeah, I was telling Ren off air, for anybody who, like you said, listened way back. I did mention Travis Thompson and the Hot Tater Tots, but he is reaching out into acting. And so he was in the most recent episode of Reservation Dogs, and I thought that was really good. He's equally as talented an actor as he is a rapper. So kudos to you, Travis.
Wait, I just remembered that is your superpower, because didn't you predict Doja Cat?
I did. I was on. It might have even been on this show. I was on or talking about Doja Cat when she was still making that moo. That was their only song. She was just a YouTuber, and she's become mega famous.
Yeah,
like,
she's like the biggest one you ever predicted.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Good memory. If I had, so that's my superpower. My anti-superpower is memory. I can't remember anything. I'm pretty sure I have early onset, so don't tell anybody.
I'm pretty sure I was the one that found Doja Cat.
Oh, yeah. Remember when we found Doja Cat? There's an episode of Seinfeld. I've been rewatching Seinfeld where George gets a job for the Yankees and he doesn't know how to do the job at all, but his boss has Alzheimer's and keeps doing the work for him and thinking George did it. I'm like, oh, it's brilliant. That's going to happen one day with me. All right. Moving on to our next segment, we're going to bring up some tasty trailers. So I got a handful of them. What I noticed about this list of tasty trailers is it's loaded with superstars, actors I enjoy, across the board.
And horror movies.
And well, 'tis the season, my friends.
Yeah.
October is here. Here come the scary movies. So let's start with a scary movie and probably the least famous of the stars on the list. Knock at the Cabin Door, I think looks really interesting. It looks creepy. It looks like it might have some solid jump scares, and it's got enough uniqueness to it that I'm intrigued. Stars Dave Bautista, and he looks like he can actually act a little bit this time. So what do you think about Knock at the Cabin Door, Mr. Wren?
Yeah, as I was watching, like, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. And also I see M. Night Shyamalan. God damn it.
That's the only downside. I was going to leave that part out. It is an M. Night movie, so there's absolutely going to be a twist. But that fucker gets me every time with the trailers, because I'm always like, I gotta know what the twist is. I'll go and I'll watch it. But if he olds me again and this thing is just boring and stupid, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, because like usually his movies are kind of like, what's gonna happen? You want to know the result, so you're like invested. Right. Yeah.
And we all know that he likes to twisty. So there's no reason to think it's going to have some standard ending. It's going to have he'll take a shot. It'll either be like, oh, that was dumb, or it's like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Great, good on you, my man.
Yeah, because you have this like gay couple with their daughter, and then a group of 4 with like Batista, Ron Weasley.
That's right. It's like a cult.
And the other 2 comes in and says that we got to stop the apocalypse. I'm like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah, they take this poor couple on vacation in a cabin and say, you know what? I think we're gonna have to kill you guys to stop the apocalypse. I'm sorry. And you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Do they hate gay people, or what's going on, man?
I think that's it could be part of the narrative, into what they're trying to tell us. So it is intriguing. So M. Night,
Yeah.
you've done it again. You've intrigued me to where I'm probably gonna watch a bad movie, but I'm intrigued. Knock at the Cabin Door actually, even though it's clearly should have come out this month, it's not a Halloween movie. Comes out February 3rd of 2023. So you're gonna have to wait on it. I'll try to imagine what may happen. My next trailer is actually an HBO Max TV series based off of a video game that Ren loves called Last of Us, starring the Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal, and the little girl who they awfully murder in Game of Thrones. I don't know jack squat about The Last of Us other than the few tidbits Ren has told me about, but it looks good to me. I am intrigued. Are you excited as a gamer?
Hell yeah. The
Okay.
Last Mando. Let's go.
The Last Mando. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty similar to the game.
Okay.
Other than like it's Pedro Pascal playing Joel.
Does that feel weird? He doesn't look the part. I don't know what Joel really looks like. He's some bearded old guy, right?
Yeah, like I said, for me, it should have been Jamie Lannister playing Joel because they look similar. But then you gotta choose the best actor, and they probably chose Pedro.
Well, I don't think the guy that plays Jamie Lannister is a bad actor either. So that might be interesting. Maybe he can't do an American accent.
Oh, maybe. But yeah, and then they show a glimpse of like the clickers.
Oh yeah.
Like hell yeah.
Yeah, I saw that and I looked at it compared to the video game art and it looked really cool. So I don't know. It looks like the tone and everything's good. A lot of times when stuff's based off of video games, it doesn't turn out. This one might, but I'm a sucker for zombie stuff, and I'm assuming from the looks of it, there's kind of a zombie-esque thing going on.
Yeah, have you seen the movie called Logan?
With Wolverine? Yeah.
It's basically the same thing where guy gets stuck with a girl. I want you to take girl from point A to point B.
She's X-23.
Yeah, so as you go with them, they kind of like become like family in a way. And
Got it.
Yeah.
So he's originally just her caretaker to get her to A to B, and then of course
he cares for her like a daughter. Yeah,
right. He cares for her and doesn't want to see anything happen to her.
Yeah, then you just add zombies and bad people, post apocalyptic Earth.
Yeah, I'm down. I am so ready for it. Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. That comes out, I think, next year. The next scary TV show is coming out on Netflix. It's a Netflix scary called The Watcher. So The Watcher is, as they advertise, based on a true story. That always cracks me up when horror movies are based on a true story, because that they're gonna change it so much. But the essential idea that we get from the trailer, and by the time you guys listen to this episode, this show will be out. You could probably start watching it. I don't know if it's every episode or if it's like one a week, but it tends to be Netflix gives them all to you at once.
Well, it's a series. It's not a movie.
It's a series.
Oh shit! I must have not paid attention to it.
The series, The Watcher, essentially the very base concept: new family moves to an old house. They get a letter. And it says, hey, I'm a big fan of this house. I've loved this house my whole life. I'm obsessed with this house. And now that you're living there, I'm obsessed with you. And then creepiness ensues where he keeps you see shadows staring at him, people like creeping around the house while they're sleeping, all sorts of weird crap. And then they do a lot of fast cuts. Like, is it the neighbors? Is it this guy down the street?
Who is it?
Yeah. So it's kind of a whodunit, a creepy whodunit. And yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
When does it come
out? Tomorrow for us. Tomorrow. So everybody who's listening will be able to will tune this thing in right away. So are you gonna give it a whirl?
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe I'll watch it and I'll tell you to watch it once it's good, because I have a feeling it's gonna be decent. My next one on my list. This is actually of all the ones on the list, this is the one I want to see the most by far.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
30 seconds into the trailer, I said, God damn, I need to see this movie. It looks amazingly bad. It has everything I want. It is called Violent Night. Violent Night. A play on Silent Nights.
Friends of the show. Let's go.
Friend of the show. Yeah, I tweeted them. They like us. They said we can't wait. So we're in with the Violent Night Bros. They seem really cool. Starring our friend David Harbour from Stranger Things. He is He is Santa Claus.
Yes.
This is essentially Die Hard at Christmas, and Santa Claus is playing John McClane. So these rich people, what was his name? I forget. John Leguizamo and his homies decided to rob these rich people on Christmas, steal a bunch of money, something or something, right? Santa Claus happens to be showing up because in this movie, Santa Claus is 100% real, kids. Trust us. He shows up to do his thing. The guy's like, hey, get out of here. He's like, hey, man, I don't want no trouble. Just leave me the hell alone. The guy's like, I don't think so. And then he has to go all like magic Kris Kringle and start kicking ass. It looks so good.
Yes. Agreed.
It's a yippee-ki-yay, Father Christmas. This movie is ridiculous. David Harbour plays it perfect. He keeps it real, but he's throwing out dumb one-liners. Man, I cannot wait. I am so stoked for this movie. I can't even express it.
I got so hyped. I showed my wife thinking that she's gonna like it. And then I watched it again with her. She's like, let's go see in theaters. I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, let's go. That's amazing. Yeah, this is the Christmas movie we've all been waiting for. Everything about it screams ridiculous, and I'm here for it. So get ready to enjoy your most violent of nights on December 2nd, exclusively in theaters, my friends. So get a little tipsy on some funny eggnog and have a good time. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I guarantee it. The next movie I am less likely to guarantee is going to be good. I don't know. We talked about video game movies a minute ago and how video games don't always translate. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes, well, most of the time they're awful. We're talking about the new Mario Brothers trailer. This was the big one. It came out. Everybody was super excited. People knew that Chris Pratt had been named as the voice of Mario. We wanted to see how is he going to do his "It's a Mario" voice. And they wait until the very last second to let us hear him. And what did you think?
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. See, I could have voiced it.
That was just as good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said it sounded just like Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers, and then another bro animated Linda Belcher, but with Chris Pratt's actual audio, and it sounds exactly like Linda Belcher.
Same. But like I told you before, this movie's made for kids, and it's just adults complaining, and kids don't know any better. They're gonna watch it. They're gonna love it. You're gonna take your kids to watch it, so it's a win-win for everybody.
It's true. Still gonna watch it. Still gonna go with my kid to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just kind of funny to me. I don't know where Chris Pratt, what kind of deal he made with the devil that said, make me funny, make me famous, make me handsome. Let me marry Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. And then let me, because I'm also super handsome and funny, I'm going to be the voice of every character of anything that doesn't make sense. Because I think he's going to follow this up by voicing Garfield of all things. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I thought Garfield doesn't even talk.
No, remember the anime they had Bill Murray was the last voice of Garfield, which made sense. He did a very good Garfield.
I think in Mario, I heard like a little Boston accent in his voicing.
Did he add that to it? Because I don't Mario supposed to be from Boston and Chris Pratt's from Washington, Seattle, Washington. So that's funny. It's me, I'm Mario, okay? Where the fuck is Luigi? So it'll probably still be good. We'll all probably forget that Chris Pratt's the dorky voice immediately as soon as the movie starts.
Yeah, just watch the Japanese dub.
There you go. Comes out April 7th, also exclusively in theaters. I'm sure this movie will make a mint. The last trailer is another holiday film. A little bit different than Violent Night, but also something I'm super interested, loaded with a couple of my favorite actors. In fact, my bromance himself. I'm talking about the film Spirited. Spirited is a take on Charles Dickens. What is it called? Also, I had a brain fade.
That's the one trailer that I didn't get to.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Okay.
No.
So it's based. My brain finally came around. It's based off of Charles Dickens's Christmas Carol, the most famous movie that's been redone a million times. We've all seen about 3 versions of Christmas Carol. We saw Bill Murray do his version, so we've seen all these things. So Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, they put the teaser out today, so it'll be out for a couple days by the time you guys hear this. But it's a musical. That's the part that caught me off guard. So they don't show a lot of the music or them singing, but it looks really amusing. Will Ferrell goes full like confused Will Ferrell mode, like he does with especially his Christmas roles. By the way, if this movie is good, we have to cement Will Ferrell as the king of Christmas, right? Elf, fantastic, one of the all-time greatest Christmas movies. Yes. Daddy's Home 2, the most underrated Christmas movie. I will keep banging that drum until everybody goes and watches it. I watch Daddy's Home 2 every Christmas. Not ashamed. Hashtag not ashamed. So if this one hits, that'll be Will Ferrell's, in my opinion, third amazing Christmas flick.
Wow, that's. What about Daddy's Home 1?
Daddy's Home 1 not a Christmas movie, and it's stupid. No. So have you never seen either one?
No.
Okay, here's another hot take. So I'm gonna keep pushing this. In fact, I'm gonna convince Ren to watch Daddy's Home 2 this holiday season. You don't have to watch the first one at all to enjoy Daddy's Home 2. In fact, they would have been smart just to rename the whole stupid movie something else, because it's fantastic as a perfect standalone. You don't need to know nothing about the first one.
Damn.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm excited for Spirited, starring Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. It comes out in theaters on November 11th. And then if you're like, I don't want to go to the movie theaters, you can watch on Apple Plus on November 18th, because they're the ones that shelled out all the cash for this bad boy.
Wait, it's called Apple Plus?
Apple Plus. So theaters on the 11th of November, Apple Plus on the 18th.
Well, I thought it was like Apple TV. Is it Apple Plus now?
Oh, whatever the hell they call it. Apple Plus TV. I don't even know what it's called. I don't have it anymore. So Apple TV.
Apple TV.
That thing. Apple TV. It's only on there. See, this is what he's talking about, nitpicking. Superpower ignite. The nitpicker strikes.
Get it right.
Get it right, idiot. All right. So that's all I had for the trailers. I got a couple news stories we're going to jump into now. Let's get ready for the news jacuzzi. All right. So we're here in the news jacuzzi. This is going to be exciting. This is a good one. A star of the Diary of the Wimpy Kid murdered his mom. I don't know if you've heard anything about this story, Mr. Wren.
No.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Riverdale actor Ryan Grantham was sentenced to life for killing his mother. So this fool, he was not the main character. When I first saw this, they clickbaited me a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, the wimpy kid isn't so wimpy. But he was one of the side friends, one of the younger characters. But he was known for being in Diary of the Wimpy Kid and Riverdale. He's 24 years old now. I think when he was in that first Wimpy Kid, he was just a ute in like 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there. The 24-year-old was handed a life sentence in British Columbia Supreme Court in Vancouver on Wednesday. He will not be eligible for parole for at least 14 years.
Damn.
Per the outlet, he said that the victim's loved ones, such as his sisters, said that it was a life-shattering impact and tragedy on their whole family. So apparently, he's had psychiatric issues for a while. And one day he woke up. He's arguing with his mom, and they were supposed to be getting ready to go to actually an acting gig or something. He was almost like the version of this reboot kid. His mom went with them, and she was playing the piano, and he kept telling her to stop. I hate it. Stop. And she wouldn't stop. And he had a full manic meltdown and ended up bludgeoning her to death. So he killed his mom in the most gruesome of ways. So that's kind of a crazy story when you think about it.
Because she wouldn't stop playing the piano.
Yeah, she wouldn't stop, and so he made it stop. But that's kind of wild. It's someone who was famous and popular would it just goes to show you that anybody can have depression and mental issues. Kanye West. So you just have to watch for those kind of things. You never know what they might do, no matter how popular they are.
Might start a whole new school, maybe.
Yeah, after he killed his mom, he was going to leave, and he left in his car that was loaded with 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, and camping supplies. So he was going to have a shootout, but then he calmed down and turned himself in. So he originally looked like he was going to go full, I don't know, terrorist. I mean, who makes Molotov cocktails?
Only in video games.
It's wild. It's so wild. The next story. Let's see, pop this up. Oh, I got 2 things open. I read about this actually happened today. Today, our time, October. Superintendent. Everybody remembers you got principals, vice principals, and you have the superintendent. They're the big boy that runs like the district in your school area. Was arrested after crowd surfing at the high school football game this last weekend. And you're thinking, well, what's wrong with that? Well, apparently, homie was drunk as a skunk. He got lit up. And the video is pretty funny. There's all these videos of this guy, and he's not just like regular crowd surfing. Like, gotta remember, everybody, I told you I'm an old fart. And so I came up during the grunge era where we used to crowd surf all the time. And good crowd surfing is on your back, never on your front, because you get, especially as a guy and a girl, you get too many things accidentally grabbed when you're crowd surfing like you're Superman. But the video has this guy decked out just crowd surfing down these kids face down. So it should have been the first tip that maybe he was a little bit tipsy. So Mr. Superintendent Jason Thompson decided, after he partied real hard at the high school football game, got himself on video real obviously inebriated, to get behind the wheel and drive. So he was arrested, pulled over, and charged with a DUI. That just goes to show you that not all the time at high school football games is it the kids that are being bad. Sometimes it's the adults.
Good times, man.
He had a blood alcohol greater than 0.8%. So that's, or 0.08%. That's over the limit, my guy.
0.8%. Like, yeah.
Sorry, that was a mistake on your part. You should not have done that. I have one story left that's my favorite, but one interjection is one of the big stories that's been happening that I'm sure everybody's either participated in, heard about, thought about participating in, is this adult McDonald's Happy Meal. I saw this thing and I've been wanting. So I'm back on my keto BS, so I can't have McDonald's right now. It's not a good thing, but I am pumped. I really want to get the toys. So if anybody, if there's any Audionaut fans out there that want to send me these toys, I'm all for it. I'll pay the shipping. But I
tried, dude.
Did you get one?
I tried going last weekend, but then they were sold out.
So I heard for those who listen in Oregon, that the only town that had them was Dallas, Oregon, which is nothing like Dallas, Texas, my friends. It's a small little town. And they said that Dallas McDonald's still had them, because I saw people posting them. And I've seen on social media, our local social media, people trading. I saw one lady say, hey, I've got Grimace and the bird and the weird cactus guy. I need to trade for the Hamburglar, that kind of thing, because she had 3 or 4 of each. So the people are collecting them. They're trading them. But I just I don't really even care about the food. I just want one of these weird 4-eyed toys. They're so strange to me. And the collaboration is so off the wall to me. I'm not a hip hopper or cool urban kid, so I didn't know much about the cactus plant flea market and their whole vibe and all the clothing that they make. So I think it's kind of neat that McDonald's did this, but I wish it was easier to get. I don't know why it's so hard to get.
Yeah, man. I tried. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, if anybody can come across one, good on you, because it's not so easy. So I would love to get them, just because I think they're neat. They would look good in this nerdy room with all my crap hanging on the walls, but I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Send it old boys away, man.
Send it my way. I'm a fan. So my final story is my favorite one. I like to save my favorite one for the end. This one is also brand spanking new.
Wow.
This happened just 3 days ago. Man charged for smuggling pythons in his pants. So that happened to me once, but I didn't even have any snakes. So I had to too easy. Too easy. God, wouldn't you be afraid? I mean, wouldn't you be afraid to stick pythons in your pants? And not 1, not 2, but 3? 3. Man charged with smuggling 3 Burmese pythons over the U.S. border in his pants. A New York City man was charged this week with smuggling 3 Burmese pythons in his pants at the U.S.-Canadian border crossing. Calvin Batista? I wonder if he's related to Dave. Calvin Batista, 36, is accused of bringing the hidden snakes on a bus that crossed into northern New York on July 15th. Oh, it's funny. This happened in 2018, but he's just been charged this week. That's so wild that it's taken so long.
Pandemic, man.
No kidding. Apparently no one really cares if you smuggle snakes. Importation of the Burmese python is regulated by international treaty and federal regulations listing them as injurious to human beings. Batista of Queens was arraigned on Tuesday in Albany of federal smuggling these and released on a pending trial according to the release. Let's see if I want to hear about where does it talk about how he did it. Oh, this is dumb. It just tells you that it literally just says he stuck the pants when he got caught, he stuck them down his pants, and they don't get into any of the details. That was like the best part about it. I was really excited to hear like how big are these pythons? How do you get them in your pants to where people don't notice? I mean, there's a lot of questions that are unanswered here.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't got nothing. He's just putting in his pants real quick.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if any of these other sites cover it better. It's a $2,050 fine. So worst case scenario, it doesn't look like he'll go to jail, but he'll pay $250,000 if he gets fully charged or convicted of this thing.
Damn, you got clickbaited.
I did get clickbaited again. I should read all the way through this stuff. It was brand new. I was excited. I found this literally before we started. I'm like, this is awesome. Who doesn't want to talk about a guy with a snake down his pants? Remember the old Adam Sandler? I got a snake, man. Yeah, no, not a single person talks about it. Maybe if we go back to 2018, we can figure out how he actually smuggled them
in his pants.
But like, where do you put them? I mean, Burmese pythons are huge. I mean, are these baby pythons? Are they itty bitty? I mean,
maybe he was wearing like those old school like Juno jeans or something.
Maybe we're imagining him like in his pants where his like, twigs and berries are, but in reality he was wearing like cargo pants and he just had a snake in each pocket and they're like 2 foot long and just rolled up in his pockets. That'd be less exciting. It'd be way more funny to think about them like searching him and being like, oh my, what is this, sir?
Maybe if I gotta say it's a baby.
It doesn't say anything about it being a baby, and these are like legit news sites. ABC, how dare you? So that's it. That's all I had for all my stories for this week. I think this has been a pretty fun episode. Good to hear.
Agreed.
Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this bad boy up, post it, and send it?
I think we're ready to wrap it up, man.
All right. Well, I got a snake, man. We'll see you guys all on the flip side. Catch you next time. Bye.